if you're not making mistakes, it's because you're not doing anything.
I love
you're
it.
yeah. If you're building, you're constantly shifting. Every time the wind blows,
Yeah.
This is the How to Quit Working Show. Jeff Steinman believes entrepreneurship is the only true path to freedom. That's why he created the How to Quit Working Show, where you'll hear stories, insights, and inspiration from lifestyle fanatics who left their soul-sucking 9-to-5 job forever. Now, here's your host, author, entrepreneur, and ultimate lifestyle fanatic, Jeff Steinman.
Hello and welcome to the How to Quit Working Show. Today we're going to talk to Selena Ford about how she started her really cool business working as a personal chef and also having a food truck right here in the St. Louis area. Fun to talk to somebody local and fun to hear Selena's story. She just has a great one. And she also worked in banking like myself, so certainly enjoyed hearing about her story and her transition out of her job into doing something that she loves, and you're going to love it. She's got some great lessons to share. Now, before we get into that, though, I want to remind you that we are doing webinars now. So if you want a live training, you want to actually get on a live session with me and get trained on how to quit your job and start a business, go to howtoquitworking.com/webinar and sign up for the next How to Quit Working webinar, where we are going to show you how to start a business and make money in 30 days so that you can quit your job. No more of this messing around, no more of this putting up a website that doesn't actually do anything and just spinning your wheels and not making real progress. I'm going to show you how to do it the right way and show you how to do it based upon what I've learned and what I've learned from talking to nearly 200 successful entrepreneurs. Now let's talk to number 177, Selena Ford. Selena, welcome to the How to Quit Working Show.
Hi, great to be here.
Yeah, great to have you. You have got a very different type of business. It's like nothing we've ever had on the show before. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, Red Delicious Cafe, it is a cafe and personal chef service, and by cafe I don't mean it's like a brick and mortar. It is actually a food truck.
Excellent.
Yes. Our menu, we focus mainly on healthier menu, vegan, vegetarian, that sort of thing. Gluten-free, those with specialty diets. There's two separate arms, but they work together. The personal chef side is where I will actually go to the client's house and cook for them. I'll make enough in one day that for either 2 weeks or up to a month.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So you come in one day, I've got healthy, if I want gluten-free, I've got this for either 2 weeks or a month.
Yes.
Wow. Like, where do I sign up?
No more excuses, okay?
Yeah.
You can't just say, "Oh, I don't have time to cook when I get home," because that's what I do. So
Yeah.
And when you get home, everything gets packaged and waiting for you. I will even leave something in the crock pot, so you don't have to worry about, dinner that night. If you need the table set before you get home, we'll take care of that as well. And that is the personal chef side of the business. Now, the food truck, we try to bring that same service to you. It's all healthy. It's all vegetarian. It's local when we can, organic when we can. We want the best for you.
Sure.
And it's very simple. I believe in keeping things very simple, very easy for you. In fact, people don't seem to realize how easy it is, especially for the personal chef side. Basically, once I find out what you want and create the menu, you approve the menu, and then I take over it from there. There's very little you have to do at that point. So
that is very cool. Now, one of the things that strikes me as really neat about your business model is that you are in the St. Louis metropolitan area, and as we sit here recording this, it is exactly 8 degrees outside. So I am guessing you are not firing up the food truck today.
No.
But
No.
there's no reason why you couldn't have personal chef clients on a day like today.
Absolutely. Especially during the colder months, personal chef service really picks up. People, kids are in school, people are busy with work and everything, so they realize they need the extra help, and that's where I come in. So
that is very cool. So I love that you've got two different sides of the business, and you've got them to sort of support and back each other up in opposite seasons, and it sounds like you've found like two different aspects of the business that work together really well.
yes.
Selena, why did you start this company instead of a graphic design company or a knick-knack shop or a personal tailor, any of the other million things that you could have done to start a business? Why was it this?
Well, I don't like clutter, so knick-knack shop wouldn't work.
No knick.
But I've always loved food.
Yeah.
It wasn't always, I wasn't always trying to cook with a healthy focus. It's just that I started taking better care of myself a few years ago. And, I was cooking for other people, and I'm like, I can't keep cooking bad things for people when I know, now that I've educated myself, I know what this is doing to your body. Right, and that's when I started moving into the healthier menus and letting people, and showing people that just because it comes, it has vegetarian in it, or, it doesn't have a ton of fat, or, all of the bad stuff, it can still taste really, really good. I mean, people don't realize, sometimes they just don't realize how easy it is to eat right. Even if you want to eat meat, just basically it's a matter of making sure it comes from a good source, that it's grass-fed, that,
Sure.
And again, that is something that I can actually do. If you want, you want to eat right, but you don't have time to do all the research, that's where I come in. So,
You just when you come to my house and cook my meals, you're just going to use the good stuff.
Yes.
I don't have to worry about where to get it. I don't have to worry about what's good, what's not good, what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing. What a great service. Selena, what did you do before this?
I was in banking, actually.
Okay.
I was in banking for a very long time. Started out on my first real job, actually, was on the teller line.
Okay.
I actually was, this was, and then in 2004, my department was downsized. And because I was always cooking for my coworkers, everybody was like, oh, you should, open a restaurant. I'm like, there is no way I'm doing that. And no, it was way over my head, and there's, you have the employees and the taxes and overhead and everything.
Yeah.
It's a lot to it. But then I started researching, and I found out about personal chefing. And I'm like, well, that's something I can do. So I started the personal chef business. It was actually Sheba's Personal Chef Service in 2004. And it was kind of off and on. I stayed in the corporate world for a while, moving from bank to bank. And actually, it wasn't until last year that I broke completely with the banking world and, rebranded as Red Delicious and moved on.
Well, congratulations. My first question for you is I think this is one of the things that folks really worry about when they're working a job and they're getting ready to transition into their own business. They're thinking, just like I'm sure you were thinking back in 2004, you're like, okay, I'm getting ready to do this personal chef thing, but like, how am I going to find clients? How do you find people to pay you money?
Word of mouth is huge.
Oh, okay.
Networking, yeah. It's a personalized service, and you're in people's houses. So word of mouth is huge. People, you do a good job. People love your food. They start talking you up. You start getting calls from places. Like, how did you hear about me? Oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to find clients, my advice would be to start networking now. Even while you're working full-time at whatever else you're doing, start networking on the side. Start meeting with people, getting to know people, or, networking not just to get out of them, get what you need out of them, but to get to know them. Because people will refer someone that they actually know. So
interesting. You said networking not just to get something out of them, but to get to know them.
Exactly. Yes. I in networking, I run into people who getting referrals is like their main goal. And I've always felt that should be like your secondary goal, because your goal is to actually get to know the people personally. Because, you're going to refer somebody that you know and trust.
Sure.
So that should always be the main focus. And the referrals, that'll come from that. You're building relationships.
Sure. What else would you tell somebody who's out there and they're thinking, wow, this sounds really interesting, but how do I get started?
Well, this is the time to do all of the research. This is the time to get your funding, all your funding in order. You're going to have to pay, not only you're starting your business, but you're going to have to keep up your personal expenses at the same time.
Yeah.
So this is the time to get all of your funding in order. Find out what budget you're going to, make a budget, figure out how you're going to keep this budget, how you're going to pay these bills while you're building your business. Find out how you're going to pay your taxes. Find out what taxes you have to pay. This is the time to find a good accountant, a good lawyer if you need one. At least to have them, at least to have that contact if you need it.
Yeah. This
is the time to lay the foundation. You don't want to just jump out there and not have some kind of a road.
Yeah, sure. Well, and I'm guessing when you started your business, you didn't know everything there is to know about being a personal chef and operating a food truck. How did you learn all that stuff?
I actually joined a couple of personal chef associations.
Oh, cool.
Yes. And I was very fortunate. The first one that I joined, they're actually, technically disbanded, but everybody pretty much stays in touch because it was just that kind of an organization. And these people, let me tell you, they are amazing. They are amazing. You have a ton of experience in this group, and they will help you with anything.
Oh,
they're
cool.
all over the country. They're based all over the country. If you have a question, seriously, right now, I can send one of them a message right now and say, okay, I need help with this pot roast.
Yeah.
I will probably have 15 responses in 5 minutes. These people are, I am not exaggerating. These people are amazing. And, it's just a matter of finding out who knows what you need to know and getting to know them.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask questions, even if it sounds like a stupid question. I would say the only stupid question is the question you don't ask.
Yeah.
Because you will be amazed at how many things, it would seem obvious, but it really isn't.
Yeah, sure. Well,
get to know the people who know.
Yeah. How powerful is it for you to have the backing of that organization that you can ask any question of and get tons and tons of advice? And I'm guessing that no matter what industry it is, you can find groups of people like that are willing to help.
Absolutely. Do your research. Go online. Talk to people. Even right there in your own community. You'd be surprised at how many people know somebody.
Yeah.
It really is a small world.
Absolutely.
SCORE actually has a group. That is the group. SCORE. Okay. They are a group of retired professionals. They will put you in touch with someone who retired from your field, and they will mentor you, and this is at no cost to you.
Wow, very cool. So the SCORE is I think I've heard of it. It's like retired executives and retired entrepreneurs who just want to help other people who are doing what they've done in their career. Is that right?
Yes.
Excellent. What a great resource. And as you said, that spans across different industries, right? So whether it's food service or photography or whatever it may be, there will be somebody out there who can help you. Cool.
You're looking at years of experience, and they are more than willing to help you. They will meet with you in person. They will meet with, they'll do a phone call, and it costs you nothing. So,
No excuses.
No excuses. The Small Business Administration is another one that will give you free advice. SIUE has I can't think of the actual name of the office, but they have a small business help center. They will walk you through building your business plan, doing research on any brick and mortar sites any tax questions that you have. And again, this is all free to you.
Yeah.
This is just to help you get started. I mean, the information is out there. You just have to do the legwork.
Absolutely. Selena, what was one of the biggest challenges that you faced when you were starting your business?
Being in the food industry, it would be the funding.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The food industry is a very, how do I say this, not stable industry, so you won't find a lot of people willing to back you. So you're going to have to look, yes, because, hamburger joints go out with business every day.
Yeah, well, we all know, like that restaurant that opens up and we go in there and we're like, oh my God, this food is so good, and 6 months later it's closed.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a volatile industry. It doesn't, a lot of the times, unfortunately, the resources just aren't there,
Sure.
So funding for me was huge. And I always stress that, get your funding in order first. That is so important. Mm-hmm. Even after you get started, you're going to need that. You're going to need that extra boost. You're going to need those, in liquid funding. You need stuff. You need cash. You're going to need cash. So that is a huge issue.
Absolutely. You have to buy your food. You have to put gas in the truck. You have to put gas in your car to go around to your personal chef jobs. You have expenses. You have taxes you have to pay, your quarterly estimated, and all that kind of stuff. So I think the lesson there is make sure that you've got the cash to support the business, because if the cash dries up, the business goes away. And that happens to even very large businesses on a much larger scale.
Yes.
When the cash flow is not there, there's serious issues. Selena, what's something that you did when you were starting your business that you wish you would have done a little bit differently that our listeners might be able to learn from?
Well,
what I love about successful entrepreneurs is that question stumps them. And the reason is because successful people don't ever look back and they don't have any regrets. They look at everything as part of the process and part of the journey and a learning experience. And, and it's all about, maybe if I had it to do over again, I would do that differently. But I don't regret having it done it the way I did because I learned something from it.
Exactly. So, you're asking me, like, what do you regret? It's like, let me think.
Yeah. And I think it's important for our listeners to realize that to be successful, you have to shift your mentality to being like that. And
that is so very important right there, because it's all in the way you look at it. With the food truck, if the generator goes, I knew nothing about generators. Now I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, now I know who to call if I can't.
Sure.
So everything that you deal with in building your business, it really is a learning experience, and it is so important for you to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Because if you're not making mistakes, it's because you're not doing anything.
And when you're
if you're building, you're constantly shifting. Every time the wind blows, you have to be able to move with it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're not making mistakes, it means you're not doing anything. That is the quote of the show. I love it. Selena, what does success mean to you?
Success to me, it would mean being established. I would like to become basically a household name, honestly. I do have plans for expansion, and I would just like to to have everyone, because, you know, here in the Metro East, when somebody says Red Delicious, somebody will be like, oh, I know about this, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, that would be like, okay, yeah, I've done it, you know?
Yeah.
And they know that they can come to us for good food, you know, for convenience and that sort of thing, so.
Absolutely. So you want to be a household name, and I know that based on everything that you've done and your track record thus far, it's just a matter of time. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when, and I wish you the best of luck. Selena, what's the last piece of advice that you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Something I tell myself all the time: never give up. Never, 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 never give up. Fall back, regroup, cry if you have to, but never give up. There's always another way to go at it, you know? Just keep at it. If it's your dream, if it's something you can't let go, if it keeps gnawing at you, never give up.
What great advice. You know, I think the people that are successful are those not who get it right the first time, not who get it right the second time, not who get it right the third time, but it's those who refuse to give up and just keep going at it and trying and trying and trying.
Yes. And surround yourself with people who are going the same direction you are. It is so important to be able to pick up the phone and call someone who knows what you're going through. Or someone who's been where you are, you know? And if you want to make sure that's who you're surrounding yourself with. That is so important.
Selena, what if you don't know anybody like that?
And that's where networking comes in.
Excellent. We have an expert on the show who's going to be talking about networking, I believe, next week. So we're going to have a lot of great stuff to talk about with networking. So yeah, if you don't know the people that have done what you want to do and that are doing what you want to do, network and get out there and meet those people.
Introduce yourself. If there's somebody doing something that you want to do, don't be afraid to introduce yourself to them. Even if they don't want to talk to you, at least you tried.
Yeah.
You know, the most successful people are more than willing to help somebody else come up because they were there.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's some people that will say no. There's some people that will ignore you or not want to talk to you. But I think that goes back to your previous advice, which is just brush yourself off, don't cry about it, and just go find somebody else.
There you go.
Awesome. Awesome. Selena, what's next for you and Red Delicious?
What's next for us is I would like to expand to a brick and mortar in the next couple of years or so. In addition to the food truck and the personal chef service, you know, and make it even easier for people to eat great right here in our area. I would like to expand the cooking classes because right now I work with Swick during the summer, teaching the kids how to cook healthy meals. And I would like to expand that as well because I think it's so important for our young people to learn how to take better care of themselves. So true. So true. Not so many cheeseburgers and more delicious, healthy food. Selena, you're doing an amazing job, and I wish you the best on your mission to not only be successful for yourself, but to change the way that we eat and show folks a new option and a new way for being able to eat healthy and take better care of their bodies. Thanks so much for being on the show. Where can we go to get more information about you and Red Delicious? You can go to my website. It's reddeliciouscafe.com. Now there is only one D in that. We're also on Facebook, and you can follow us on Twitter. It's at Red Delicious, which is RD Delicious.
Absolutely. And if you can't spell that, you can just go to howtoquitworking.com. It'll all be linked up below. Selena, thanks so much for being on the How to Quit Working show. I look forward to seeing what amazing things you do, and I look forward to the Red Delicious location that is going to be down the street from my house in absolutely no time. Selena, thanks so much for coming on the show. Thanks for sharing all your advice, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much for having me, Jeff.
Great lessons from Selena about quitting your job and starting a business. You know, so many of the things that we hear from these folks, we hear them over and over and over. And what we've done with all of this knowledge that we have gained from talking to 100. I said 177 at the top of the show. This is actually a number 178 episode of the How to Quit Working show. But what we've done with all of that cumulative knowledge is to put it into what we call the How to Quit Working system, and that is the step-by-step, process by process, piece by piece, do this, do that next. Very simple and very proven process to quit your job and start a business. And that is what Heather does in her coaching, is she personally walks you by the hand through that process, layering on top of that tons of support, tons of encouragement, but more importantly, her experience as an entrepreneur for 15 years. Everything that she's learned. I mean, really what happens when you work with Heather is you almost become like a 15-year veteran, because you get the knowledge that and the experience that she's had from starting multiple businesses, multiple different types of businesses, and designing those businesses so that they let her live the life that she wants to and focus on the things that are important to her, which in her case is her family. And everybody has something that is important to them. And if you want to switch your life around so that it's about what's important to you, instead of being about going to work and doing a job, go to howtoquitworking.com/coaching and get more information about having Heather help you through this process, take you by the hand and guide you right through. howtoquitworking.com/coaching. And I will talk to you next time on another episode of the How to Quit Working Show.
Thanks for joining us on the How to Quit Working Show. Tune in next time when we'll talk to another amazing person just like you, who is now living the ultimate life of freedom and doing it on their terms. If you want to learn how to quit working and get these episodes delivered directly to you, visit howtoquitworkingshow.com.